Hic incipiunt constitutiones artis geometria secundum usuldum. Whose wall both well read and loke. He may find right yn old boke of Greta lordies and eke ladii c. That haid mony children wyfear, why wees. And haid no rentes to find hem wythe. Now there yn town. Ny feldi, ny frith. A counsel togader they couth hem take. To ordain for these children sake. How they migeth best lead here life without gret desaisy, care and strife. And most for the multitude that was calming of here children after here ginding. They sende then after Greta clerkees, to tekken hem then goad were keys. And pray we hem, for our lordies sake, to our children some work to make, that they migeth get here living thereby, both well and oncelich, full cyclerly. Yn that time, throg good geometry, tice honest craft of good masonry wes ordain and made yn tice manere, counterfeited of tice clerkees wyfear. At these lordies' prayers they counterfeited geometry, and gaff hyt the name of masonry, for the most honeste craft of Allah. These lordies' children therto didi fale, to learn of hym the craft of geometry. The wesh he made full carisely, throg fadris prayers and madris also, tice honest craft he pewed hem to. He that learned best, and were of one stay, and passed hys fellows yn chariste. Gef yn that craft he dd hym passe. He should have more were sheep than the lassa. Tice Greta clerkees name was clept Euclid. Hy's name hyt spratty full wander wide. Get tice Greta clerk more ordain heto hym that was hera yn tice de grey. That he should tesh the simplest of witta yn that honest craft to be parfita. And so uchin should tekken other, and love togader as sister and brother. Furthermore get that ordain he. Maister y called so should he be. So that he were most y worshipped, then scud he be so ecleped. But mason should never one other kaye. Within the craft amongus hem Allah. Ny soget. Ny servand. My dear brother. That he be not so perfect as ys another. Uchin skull kaye other fellows by cuth. For cause they come of ladies' birth. On tice manor, throg good witta of geometry, bygan first the craft of masonry. The clerk Euclid on tice wise hyt fond. Tice craft of geometry yn Egypta londa. Yn Egypta he taught hyt full wide. Yn divers londa on every side. Moni eris afterward, understonde. Gier that the craft com into tice londa. Tice craft com into England. As gau say. Yn time of good King Athelston's day. He made though both Halley and eke boer, and high templus of Gret honouri, to sporten hym both day and nygth, and to worship hys God with Allah hys mygeth. Tice good Lord loved tice craft full well, and purposed to strengthen hyt every del, for divers defades that yn the craft he fond. He sende about into the londa after Allah the masoness of the craft, to come to hym full even stragfa. For to amendi these defades Allah be good consul, gef hyt my tgth fale. Assemble then he couth let make of divers lordies, yn here state, dukies, earlies, and barns also, kingthies, squeers, and moni mo, and the Greta burgess of that cité. They were there Allah yn here de grey. These were there uchin allgate, to ordain for these masoness a state. There they soakten by here witta. How they mighthen govern hitta. 15 articulus they there soakten and 15 pointies they rogten. Hic incipit articulus primus. The first article of tice geometry. The maister mason most be full securely both steadfast, trusty, and trwe. Hyt shall hum never then ariwi. And pay thy fellows after the coast, as Vitalis goth then, well thou wast. And pay them trwly, appin thy fay. What that they deserve and may. And to her whoer take no more, but what they mo serve for, and spare, nouther for love ny dreed, of nouther parties to take no meed, of Lord ny fellow, whether he be, of hem thou take no manner of fay, and as a jug stand upright, and then thou dost to both good rygth, and trwly do tice were sever thou gost, thy worship, thy profit, hytshcal be most. Articulus secundus. The secunde article of good masonry, as ge mo hyt here hyr specially, that every maister, that ys a mason, most ben at the general congregation, so that he hyt reasonably told where that the semble shall behold, and to that semble he most nade gone, but he have a reasonable skw sakyon, or but he be unbuxom to that craft, or with false zate ys overraft, or ellis sekines hath hym so strong, that he may not calm hem among. That ysa skw sakyon, good and a bool, to that semble without fabule. Articulus tertius. The thried article for soth hytyc, that the maister take to no prentice, but he have good surins to dwelliseven gear with hym, as y gau telly, hy's craft to learn, that ys profitable. Within lassa he may not be able to lordies profit, ny to his own, as ge mo know by good reason. Articulus cordis. The four article tice most be that the maister hym well bees, that he no bondyman prentice make, ny for no covetize do hym take, for the lord that he ys bond to, may fosh the prentes wheresever he go. Gef yn the log he were y take, mooch desazy hyt mygeth there make, and sush case hyt mygeth befale, that hyt mygeth grieve some or Allah. For Allah the masonist tht ben their wall stand togador whole y fear gef sush one yn that craft schuld swell, of divers decessus ge mygeth telly. For more geese then, and of honeste, take a prentes of Hera de Grey. By old time writen y find that the preens schuld be of gentle kind, and so simtime Greta lordies blod toke tice geometry, that ys full good. Articulus quintus. The fyfthe article yss with good, so that the prentes be of lawful blod. The maister shall not, for no vantage, make no prentes that ys outrage. Hytys to mean, as ge mo here, that he have hys limes whole alla y fear. To the craft hyt were gret shame, to make an halt mon and a lame, for an unperfit mon of sush blodschuld do the craft but little good. Thus ge mo no everechen, the craft wald have a mighty mon. A mimed mon he hath no might. Je mo hyt no long gear night. Articulus sextus. The sixte article ge mo not my see, that the maister do the Lord no prejudice, to take of the Lord, for hyse prentice, also much as hys follows don. Yn alla vice. For yn that craft they ben full perfect, so ys not he. Ge mo sen hyt. Also hyt were agenus good resin, to take hys, whoer as hys follows don. Tice same article, yn tice cas. Juggy the prentes to take lassa then hys follows, that ben full perfect. Yn divers martyrs, con quite hyt. The maister may his prentes so inform, that hys hooer may cresse full gurn, and, gear hys terme come to an enda. Hys hooer may full well amendi. Articulus septimus. The seventh article that ys now here, full well wall telly gao. Alla y fear, that no maister, for favour ny dreed, shall no thef now their cloth ny feed. Thieves he shall herberon never wan, nyhym that hath y quelud a mon, way thiolike that hath a feeble name, lest hyt wald turn the craft to shame. Articulus octavus. The egta article shoot gauso, that the maister may hyt well do, gef that he have any mon of craft, and be not also perfect as he og t, he may hym change sona non, and take for hym a perfider mon. Susha mon, throj rechelaship, mygeth do the craft shirt were sheep. Articulus nanus. The ninth article shew it full well, that the maister be both wise and felle, that no work he undortaki, but he con both hyt enda and make, and that hyt be to the Lord's profit also, and to hys craft, wheresever he go, and that the grand be well y take, that hyt now their fleny grake. Articulus decimus. Then the article ys for to know, among the craft, to high and low, there shall no maister supplanty other, but be togader as sistor and brother, yn tice carius craft, Allah and Psalm, that longeth to a maistor mason. Ny he shall not supplanty non other mon, that hath y take a work hym upon, yn pain the roth that ys so strong, that paceth no lassa then 10 ponge, but gef that he be gulti efond, that took first the work on Honda. For no mon yn masonry shall no supplanty other securely, but gef that hyt be so ywrogth, that hyt turn the work to note. Then may a mason that work crave, to the Lord's profit hyt for to save. Yn susha case but hyt do fale, there shall no mason medjel withale. Forsoth he that begineth the grand, and he be a mason good and sonda, for hath hyt cyclerly ynhys mindato bringe the work to full good enda. Articulus undecimus. The 11th article ytellitha, that he ys both fair and free, for he tekit, by hys mygeth, that no mason schuld wush be nygth, but gef hyt byn practicinge of witta, gef that y couth amendi hitta. Articulus duodecimus. The 12th article ys of high honestetu g every mason, wheresoever he be. He shall not hys fellows work deprave, gef that he wall hys honeste save. With honest words he hyt commende, by the witta that God the deity sende. By hyt amendi by al that thou may, between gao both without nay. Articulus scius. The threading article, so God me save, wise, gef that the maester apprentices have. Enterlich then that he hym tesh, and measurable points that he hym wretch, that he the craft abolich may con, wheresoever he go under the zana. Articulus scius. The 14 article, by good reason, sheweth the maester how he shall don. He shall no prentes to hym take. Byt divers cries he have to make, that he may, within hys terme, of hym divers points may learn. Articulus quindecimus. The 15 article maketh an enda, for to the maester he ys a friende. To lair hym so, that for no mon, no fouls maintenance he take hym appen, ny maintain hys fellows yn here sin, for no good that he mygeth win. Ny no foul swear sofre hem to make, for dreed of here soul sake. Lest hyt wald turn the craft to shame, and himself to mechel blame. Plures constitutiones. At tis semble were points Jordain mo, of Greta lordies and maestries also, that whose wall con tis craft and comto state, he most love well God, and holy churche allgate, and hys maester also, that he ys with, wheresoever he go, yn filed or fried. And thy fellows thou love also, for that they craft wall that thou do. Secundus punctus. The secunde point, as y gao say, that the mason wush appen the workday, also trwly, as he con or may, to deserve hys higher for the haliday, and trwly to labran on hys deity, well deserved to have hys mead. Tertius punctus. The thried point most be severel, with the prentes no hyt welle, hys maester conwissel he kepi and close, and hys fellows by hys good purpose. The prevedes of the chamber telly he no man, nyn the log whatsoever they done. Whatsoever thou harest, or sista hem do, telly hyt no mon, wheresoever thou go. The conwissel of halls, and geke of boer, kepi hyt well to gret honouri, lest hyt wald torna thyself to blame, and bringe the craft into gret shame. Quartus punctus. The 4th point tekethus alsi, that no mon to hys craft be false. Error he shall maintain none aginus the craft, but let hyt gone. Ny no prejudice he shall not dodo hys maester, ny hys fellows also, and that gth the prentes be under a. Get he wald have the same law. Quintus punctus. The fyfthe point ys, without nay, that when the mason taketh hys payof the maester, Jordan to hym, full mekli y take most hyt byn. Get most the maester, by good rezon, warn hem lawfully by for none, gef he null okp hem no more, as he hath widoned there by for. Aginus tis ordir he may not strive, gef he thank well for to thrive. Sextus punctus. The 6th point ys full gef to know, both to high and eke to low, for such case hyt mygeth befale, among the masoness, some or alla, throg envy, or didly hate, oft to eriseth full gret debate. Then owyth the mason, gef that he may, pute hem both under a day. But love day get shul they make none. Tile that the work day be clean a gone. Appen the holyday ge mo well take laser enougeth love day to make, lest that hyt wald the work day latte here work for such a fray. To such enda then that hem draw, that they stond well yn goddess law. Septimus punctus. The 7th point he may well mean, of well longe life that God us lena, as hyt descrieth well apunly, thou shall not by thy maesters wyf lee, ny by the fellows, yn no maner wise, lest the craft wald the despise, ny by the fellows concubine, no more thou woldest he deity by thine. The pain thereof let hyt be esser, that he prentes full 7 jeer, gef he forfeit yneny of hem, so why chasted then most he ben, full mekella care mygeth there beggin, for susha foul de deli sin. Octavus punctus. The egta point, he may be sure, gef thou hast taken any cure, under thy maester thou be trwe, for that pint thou shalt never ariwi. A trwe mediator thou most nade beto thy maester, and thy fellows free, do trwlyal. That thou mygeth, to both parties, and that ys good rygth. Nanus punctus. The ninth point we shul hym kaye, that he be saintward of Orhally, gef that ge ben yn chamber yfear, uchan serve other, with mild share. Gentle fellows, ge most hyt no, for to be stewardess alla o ro, weke after weke without doubte, stewardess to ben so alla a boda, lovelich to servant uchan other, as thog they were sister and brother. There shall never one on other costage free himself to no vantage, but every mon shall be lich frain that costage, so most hyt be. Loke that thou pay well every mon algate, that thou hsat ebote any vitales aid, that no craving be why mad to the ny to thy fellows, yn no degree, to mon or to woman, whether he be, pay hem well and trwly, for that wall we. Thereof on thy fellow trwe record thou take, for that good pay as thou dost make, lest hyt wald thy felloway shame, any bringe thyself into gret blame. Get good account as he most make of such goads as he hath why take, of thy fellows goods that thou hast spende, were, and how, and to what enda. Such account as thou most come to, when thy fellows wallen that thou do. Decimus punctus. The 10th point present yeth well God life, to live en without care and stry. For in the mason live am I see, and ynhys work be false, ywsse, and Thor wg susha false skewies ac on may sklondren hys fellows oat resin, throg false sklonder of sush fame may make the craft kachone blame. Gef he do the craft sush vilani, do hym no favour then securely. Ny maintain not hymyn wicked life, lest hyt wald turn to care and stry. But get hymge shul not delame, but that ge shullen hym constrain, for to appair wheresavor ge will, war that ge wollen, lodi, or style. To the next assemblée ge shul hym kaye, to appair bifer hys fellows alla, and but gef he wyl bifer hem per. The craft he most nade forswear. He shall then be chasted after the law that was why founded by old daw. Punctus undecimus. The 11th point ys of good discretion, as ge mo know by good resound. A mason, and he tice craft well con, that sith hys fellow hewen on a ston, and ysyn point to spile that ston. Amendi hyt sown, gef that thou con, and tesh hym then hyt to amendi, that the lord's work be not y shende, and tesh hym esli hyt to amendi, with fair words, that God the hath lend. For hys sake that sitta above, with sweet words norishi hym love. Punctus duodecimus. The 12th point of gret realte. There as the semblé y whole shall be, there shul be maestries and fellows also, and other gretalords moni mo. There shall be the sheriff of that contre, and also the mayor of that cité, knights and squires there shul be, and other aldermen, as ge shul say, such ordinances as they maken there. They shul mainte hyt whole y fear aginus that mon, whatsoever he be, that longeth to the craft both fair and free. Gef he any stry aginus hem make, into here ward he shall be take. She is punctus. The 20th point ys to us full loof. He shall swear never to be no theft. Ny soker hymynhys foulscraft, for no good that he hath byraft, and thou mo hyt no or sin. Nouther for hys good. Ny for hyskyn. She is punctus. The 40th point ys full good laito hym that wold ben under awe. A good trwe auth he most there swear to hys maester and hys fellows that ben there. He most be steadfast and trwe also to alla tice ordinance, wheresever he go, and to hys liege lord the king, to be trwe to hym, over alla thing. And alla these points hyr before to hem thou most nade by ys war, and alla shul swear the same oath of the masoness. Be they loof, ben they lote, to alla these points hyr bifer. that hath been ordained by full good lore, and they shul inquire every mon on his party, as wyl as he con. Gef any mon mo by found gul tyn any of these points specially, and wad he be, let hym be sote, and to the semblé let hym be brout. Quindecimus punctus. The fifth point ys of full good lore, for hem that shul bent their ys war, such audience at the semblé wes laid of gretalords and maesters by forsade. For thelk that be unbuxom, ywsse, agenus the ordinance that there is of these articulus, that were ymeved there, of gretalords and masonus al yfir. And gef they ben y previous to punly by for that semblé, by, and for here gults no mendes wall make, then most they nade the crayfee forsake. And so masonus craft they shul refuse, and swur hyt nevermore for to use. But gef that they wall mendes make, agine to the craft they shul never take. And gef that they nul not do so, the sheriff shall come hem sonta, and pute here bodies yn duppy prison, for the trespass that they have widen, and take here goods and here catel into the kinges hond, everett della, and leet hem dwelt their full style, tile hyt be or leger kinges will. Alia ordinatio artis gematriae. They ordant their assembly to be hold every jeer, were sever they walled, to amendi the defates, gef anywhere fond among the craft within the landa. Uche jeer or thride jeer hyt should behold. Yn every place were sever they walled. Time and place most be ordain also. Yn what place they shul semble to. Alla the men of craft tear they most ben, and other gretalords, as ge most sen, to mendi the fates that booth there spoke. Gef that eny of hem ben then broke. There they shullen ben alla ys war, that longeth to tice craftas lore, to kepi these statutes everechen, that ben yordain by King Athelstan. These statutes that have hyr efondi chul they ben hold thro my landa, for the worsh of my rigalte, that have by my dignite. Also at every semblé that ge hold, that ge come to gour liege king bold, bisetching hym of hys high grace, to stand with gau yn every place, to confirme the statutes of King Athelstan, that he ordained to tice craft by good reason, ars quatuor coronatorum. Pray we now to God Almighty, and to hys motor Mary bright, that we mo keep these articulus here, and these points well al yfir, as deedy these holy martyrs fower, that yn ticecraft were of great honour. They were as goad masonus as on earth shulgo, gravers and magemakers they were also. For they were workmen of the besta, the emperor haid to hem gret lust. He willed of hem a mage to make, that mogue be worshipped for his sake. Such mamedes he haid ynhys da, to turn the people from Christus law. But they were steadfast yn Christes lay, and to hear craft, withouten nay. They loved well God and Allah hys lore, and wern ynhys serves evermore. Trwe men they were yn that da, and lived well goddess law. They thocht no mamedes for to make, for no good that they migeth take, to leaven on that mamedes for hear God, they nolda do so thog he were wad. For they nolda not forsake here trw fay, and bailave on hys false lay. The emperor let take hem son anone, and pute hem into adept prezone. The sare he penist hem yn that place, the more yoye west to hem of Christus grace. Then when he sigh no nother one, to dethi he let hem then gone, whose wall of here life get more no, by the bach he may kyt shao, in the legend of Scanctorum, the name of Cator Coronatorum. Here fest wall be, without nay, after Allah halwan the ite day. Jamo here as why do read, that moni jeers after, for gret dreed that noes flawed wes Allah Uran, the tower of Babylon was begone, also plain work of lime and stone, as any mon shuld loke upon. So long and broad hyt was begone, 7 mile the heg to Shadwith the Zana. King Nabogadonasor let hyt make, to gret strengthy for Mona's sake. Thag susha flawed again shuld come, over the work hyt shuld not gnome. For they had so high pride, was strong bossed, Allah that work therefore was why lost. And Angeli smot hem so with divers spech, that never one wist what other should retch. Moni eres after, the good clerk Euclid tagta the craft of geometry wonder wide. So he did that time other also, of divers craftas moni mo. Throg high grace of Christ yn heaven, he commenced yn the science 7. Grammatica ys the firsta science ywsse. Dialectica the secundae, so have y blice, rhetorica the thride, without nay, Musica ys the fourth, as y gao say, Astromia ys the v, by my snote, Arsmetica the v. Without doubte Gematria the seventh maketh an enda, for he ys both make and hendi, grammar forsoth ys the rote, whose wyl learn on the boke. But art passeth ynhys degree, as the fright that the rote of the tray. Rhetoric metrith with orn specia mung, and music hytys a sweet song. Astronomy nombreth. My dear brother, arithmetic sheweth one thing that ys another. Gematray the seventh science hytyc, that con depert falshed from true the ywys. These bene the science seven, whose useth hem well, he may hon heaven. Now dear children, by gower witta, pride and covetize that ge11, hitta, and taketh heed to good discretion, and to good norter, were sever ge com. Now why pray gao take good heed, for tice ge most ken nade, but much more ge most whiten, then ge finden hyry righten. Gaff the fail therto witta, pray to God to send the hitta.